Me and my wife have been having a pretty rough couple of months. I just, I don't know. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's her. I just don't know. All I know is we have been arguing almost every single day. It was after about a month or so of these arguments starting that I told her we needed counseling. I loved her with my entire being. I hated seeing us like this. And not only did I hate how volatile we had become, I hated how personal she was being with her insults. Relationships are built on communication. Me and the counselor saw perfectly eye to eye on that. It was my wife who kept making things difficult. She'd always be so quiet during our meetings, and I didn't know whether to take that as a sign she was listening or a sign that she was disconnecting. She'd just sit there motionless, staring at the counselor with that same resting bitch face. But the moment the meetings wrapped up and it was time to go back home, she'd immediately start up with the jabs again. You just made both of us look like idiots. He's always gonna take your side. It's like I can't even defend myself. This is all so pointless. Why can't you just accept that maybe we're just over? That last one was the one that always hit me the most. Even on days where it was just me talking to the counselor, those words still rattled around in my head like dice. She just seemed so confident, confidently done with our relationship, and of course, I was the one being left behind, unable to move on. God, I fought so hard. I just wanted us to fucking be happy again. And I hate to admit it, but after a few months, I realized that maybe she was right. Not that we were over. God, no. I realized she was right that the counselor did always take my side. Not only that, but he would ask me direct questions about her when she was sitting right there beside me. This realization came with some pretty tough questions I had to ask myself. I started feeling inadequate in how I was handling things. If I wanted this to work, I knew that it had to be all-inclusive, not just me spinning my wheels while this guy fed into my delusions. At least that's what my wife would tell me. And hey, I agreed. I wanted us to have our breakthrough and start loving each other again. It was scary, though. There was so much uncertainty in everything. I could put my all into trying to be better, only for her to stay keeping her distance. But every marriage has those scary moments. It's whether or not you prevail that makes or breaks the relationship. That being said, I started insisting the counselor be more attentive to my wife. I wanted her to feel heard, even when I felt I wasn't. I wanted her problems fixed because her problems were our problems. And I made a promise to myself to never interrupt her if she chose to speak, but I could never follow through because she just flat out refused to do so. I noticed how concerned the counselor grew with each weekly session. It got to a point where I didn't even feel like a person anymore. I felt like bad product, like I wasn't doing my job as a client of his, as insane as that sounds. I can only take so many cocked eyebrows and ominous note-taking sessions before it begins to feel like I'm being seen as less than. And after a while, I can admit, I exploded a little. My wife sat beside me, head propped against her palm while her arms sat on the armrest. And of course, she just had that same, I really don't want to be here look on her face. The counselor just kept ranting about staying strong and coming out on the other side, but my blood pressure was rising so much with each remark that I had to cut him off. I asked him, plain as day, why are you pretending that she's not here? I mean, she is right here. After glaring at me over his glasses for a moment, he removed them and tossed them onto his lap before pinching the bridge of his nose and sighing. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? I asked, a little rudely. No, son, you're not bothering me at all. I just feel bad for you. Feel bad for me? That doesn't seem like a professional thing to say, does it, Doc? Well, son, I've sat here and watched you talk to yourself about a woman who's not there for the last 5 months. Forgive me for feeling a little unprofessional.